Hello, everyone. It's RASA VON WERDER, RASAVONWERDER, from the University of Mother God Church, aka my name is Kellie Everts, the lady who strips for God and dances to save men's souls. I also have books. I have 20 books I have written and published on the internet, on Lulu.com, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Blurb, and iUniverse. 20 wonderful books. One of them is called Can Female Power Save the Planet? Check out my books, check out my websites. I have other websites. Look up me under my two names. I have a 6,000 page educational website called Woman Thou Art God, and then I have the biographical show business life story video website, Kellie Everts, istripforgod.com. KellieEverts.com, istripforgod.com, either way. And many other things. I have other websites and blogs. Look me up, Kellie Everts, RASA VON WERDER, and you'll find a lot of stuff. So now I'm talking about Verna Talbot, and I want to get through this because this is so annoying, remembering these people, and oh my God. To think of these people, to be honest with you, it hurts. It hurts. Most of my life hurts. Especially the things I'm telling you, which are the most dramatic. The most dramatic things are the most painful things. The easy things, like the wonderful men that I knew, like John the lawyer and Richard von Werder, my husband, these were the wonderful men. They were not, it was not dramatic. They were just good people, wonderful people. They were gentlemen. They were helping me, took me out to dinner, helped me financially to figure out, how to invest in stocks, how to build my business at the time, which I made a lot of money on. And just wined and dined me and treated me like I was a queen, boosted my morale, boosted my self-esteem, boosted my confidence. But it wasn't dramatic, so I'm just telling you, they were wonderful men. The lawyer was my best friend for 10 full years. Wined and dined me and loved me and did wonderful things, cooked dinners for me and I cooked for him, and made me cakes on my birthday. He was a gourmet cook and made me cakes on my birthday and carried my suitcases for me when I came home from dancing, which would meet me where I was and carried my suitcases up. And it was unbelievable. And then Richard, my husband, he did hundreds of wonderful things for me. Wonderful, wonderful men. But it's not like, I could just go on and on. So he took me to this, the Peking duck, and then he took me to the Waldorf Story, and then he took me here, and then he took me, it wouldn't be dramatic to explain it, It was lovely, but not dramatic. So these crazy, eccentric people that I'm talking about that were weird and wild and crazy, they were dramatic. So Reverend Verna Talbot, I would listen to every word she taught. Listen and learn, listen and learn, listen and learn. And I said to her, how long will it take me to learn all that you have to give to me? She said 6 years. Now, the strange and funny thing is that is exactly how long I stayed with her. And then I sent her a letter of resignation. But she was becoming more and more obnoxious and more demanding. She just demanded and demanded and demanded more money all the time. I was sick of it. I didn't have much money. It was just working, So anyway, so I went on the road. I did not become the stripper for God because of her. I became the stripper for God because of me, not her. So I would send her money. And then I would come back and rest in between being on the road. And then she would give me all this bull crap about, oh, I could make a lot of money. I could rent that room I'm letting you stay in, but I'm leaving it open for you. I could rent it to another female and make money, but I'm leaving it open for you, and therefore you should give me more money. And then when I would take her to dinner, she would park somewhere where she wasn't supposed to park, and she would come back and there's a ticket. And so who has to pay for the expensive ticket? Me. For some reason, it went to me. Why didn't you pay it? You did the ticket. I didn't do the ticket. But she insisted that I had to pay the ticket, you know. Then she would get all on this high horse about Las Vegas. She knew the number. We're, you know, California, LA is not that far from Vegas. It's like, I don't know, like a short plane trip to Vegas. So she always wanted to go to Vegas and play this number. It was, I forget what they call it, but it's like where you could win $25,000. She was obsessed with money. And she told me she had the number. She had the number. All she needed was the money to go to Vegas and play that number. And so I had to pay that. I had to pay, which at the time, you know, to go round trip and everything, you'd get the hotel for cheaps because you'd be gambling and stuff. But I had to pay her like $250 each time. She made several trips like that, and I always had to cough up the money, you know. And then I wanted to leave town. I wanted to leave town. By the way, I was taking lessons. This is how bossy she was. I was taking dancing lessons from a wonderful woman that had taught Mitzi Gaynor. And she was choreographing an act for me from Ritual Fire Dance by Manuel de Falla. And she choreographed a dance for Ritual Dance of Fire for me. Here comes Verna Talbot. And here she's telling the teacher, oh, do it this way and do it that way and move and do blah, blah, blah. And the teacher just looked at her like she whacked. And I just said, thank God she left. Oh, thank you, Lord, that she left. Because I didn't want to say anything harsh because she was my mentor and I'm living with her. And the lady was a very wonderful lady. Trying to think of her name. She was French, something French. I can't think of it. She was an old lady now. She was like in her 70s or 80s. And obviously she was a great ballerina at one time. So Verna was trying to tell her how to teach me how to dance. Okay, so now she was so egotistical, and a lot of people are egotistical. I met this guy who was a con man. He's supposedly a producer, or was going to make a movie or something, and I met him somewhere. They always picked me up on the street. They'd see me walking, I'm gorgeous, I'm drop-dead body, drop-dead gorgeous. They'd stop and they'd chat me up and try to convince me they're directors, producers in the Hollywood scene, and maybe they were, I don't know. So this guy brought him to the apartment where Verna and I were staying, and all she talked about was what kind of a character could she play. It wasn't about me, it was her. Ego, maniac, self-absorbed, in love with herself. I entered a beauty contest at that time. It was an IFBB beauty contest. It was Miss, I don't know, Miss Americana or something. But they had like 10 trophies, and she was there, and I won one of the main trophies. It was called Miss Voluptuous. It was for a great body, having a great body, a voluptuous body, you know, Miss Voluptuous. I won that. Pat Curtis was in the audience. Pat Curtis was the guy who was the manager of Linda Evans and another very famous woman. I can't think of her name right now, but it was two very world famous women, and he was their manager. He was very interested in me, and he gave me his credentials, and he asked me to give him a nude picture of me so he could, I don't know what, I don't know, this is the way they are, this is the way they are. So he wanted a nude picture of me. So I told Verna Talbot, you know, Pat Curtis is interested in me, he wants a nude picture. So she ridiculed that, oh, what an evil man, what a horrible man, what a this, what a that, blah, blah. She knocked it down, she ruined it, she wrecked it. So I didn't go and meet him. And if he had become my manager, if, it could have been extremely helpful. Instead, she just calls up William Morris and tells him about me and tells him to come over. And I'm supposed to put on a dress and dance there in the living room. Are you kidding me? I look like an idiot. So of course he wasn't interested. I had already been affiliated with the William Morris Agency in the past, and the manager, one of the leaders, tried to fuck me, and I didn't let him, so they quit me. But anyway, so she pretended that she was helping me, but she wasn't helping me with show business. She was hurting me. She was using me. You understand? And that's what you're going to meet. That's what you're going to find in life. But she wasn't all bad. To be continued.